this one is, look at these pieces. I don't know if you can see those very well, but this is just an old vase that I broke. I don't even know how long ago. A long time, probably several years. And these are just some scraps. And this is exactly how they were found. Okay, so look at that. Look at that. Look, holy moly, meant to be, right? Love it. So then I went scrounging around and I found this little strand of beads. They came from Hobby Lobby. They say $4.99, but I feel certain I paid half price because I never buy anything unless it's on sale. So we're going to use that for our little body. We're going to cut that and use that for his little body. We'll cut it to size. And then I brought this bead, and we'll get that where it's supposed to be, but we're going to use this bead for its head, which is kind of a gray, greeny color. But I thought, oh my gosh, that was perfect, wasn't it? And we'll get that arranged how it needs to be for our dragonfly, and we'll curve his little tail up too. So he is going to be so stinking cute. And I think he's perfect on that background. Perfect. But for now, I'm going to set him aside. Don't you roll off. We're going to set him aside. I'm going to put his little head right in between the glass. All right, 5 by 7 is what size canvas this is. And we're going to do our very best, very, very best to duplicate. All right. I'm very nervous. I'm very nervous. All right, so first of all, you see I still have some of the wet colors on my plate here. But first of all, I'm gonna divvy out my colors. So prepare yourselves because you can come back and watch the replay, but we don't really post the colors that we use, like write them out online because we try to reserve that for our membership. So I'm going to read the colors out and you'll need to write those down or come back and watch the replay. All right. I am going to use white. I'm going to save that for last. But one of the colors is Folk Art Seashell. And I'm going to squirt out some of that seashell color. It's a very pretty pastel pink. All right. Next, Folk Art Buttercream. And I'm going to divvy some of that out. Next, Folk Art Wild Wasabi. Thank you for the sprinkles, Deanna. I appreciate that. My Facebook page is still not in my control. Facebook is giving me some fits about it. And I'm really about to throw a tantrum. Next is Winter Blue by Americana. It's kind of a purpley blue. So I can't run ads for my sunflower challenge. I can post. I could go live. But I don't have any of the back end control of my Facebook. This is Spa Blue. It's just a sky, kind of a sky blue color. And I'm going to put it right in the middle. And then, last but not least, white. All right. And I'm going to cover my canvas with white first. That's what I did on this one because I really didn't know exactly what I was going to be doing. So I'm just going to try to follow exactly what I did on that first one. So bear with me because it might take me a minute to remember too because I'm crazy. Because I'm telling you, I was just fiddling. I was in my head, trying not to overthink everything. And so you know how that goes. All right, so let me grab a brush because we're going to put a thin coat of white on our canvas. Just a thin coat. Right, Deb? It's driving me crazy. I've given them everything. My tax returns, my driver's license, my business license, everything. It's like, give me my page back. I'm trying to launch. And it's very depressing, very depressing. I actually had a little bit of a meltdown last night. And that's why I came to the studio today. I was like, I gotta get out of my head and go paint something. So I'm gonna put a super thin coat of white on my canvas, just really thin because we don't wanna wash out these colors too much. Ouch, my necklace is pulling my hair. Canvas edge, yeah, I just left mine. Actually, I'm gonna fix that while I have that white here. I just left mine white because this is so pastel. I think you can get away with that for sure. But do you, boo. If you wanna paint, you could paint it like a light version of one of the colors that we're using, like whatever the dominant color for you is. And, but I'm leaving mine white. You know I hate painting my edges. All right, thin coat of white. Now what I did next was I took my little dotting tool. Now I got this at Hobby Lobby. Thank you, Sue. I got this at Hobby Lobby. It comes in a set of like 4 or 5 of these little things in various sizes. This one's about 1 inch. And so I took this and I went and I started in my lightest color, which is the yellow. So I went in and I made sure that the entire thing is covered. You don't want it half done, okay? So make sure the entire thing has paint. And then I just started putting some dots. So and then I twist a little. And then we'll go back. I don't want to get into the blue. We'll get more yellow and just twist a little. More yellow. And we'll twist a little and more yellow. And I'm gonna kind of go off the page a bit and twist. All right, there's some pink on there. Twist. All right, don't worry about it being perfect because we're gonna be layering and you're gonna be like, oh my God, this woman's crazy. Because we're just gonna keep going until we like the way it looks. All right, so dot. Now, all I did at that point was take my dotting brush, let me move this over, and just kind of rubbed off any excess yellow. My page is stalled again. Let me see. All right, so, would be cute for Easter, wouldn't it? So the next color I'm gonna do is pink. So I'm just gonna saturate my little dotting tool. See how I have a little skippy on there with the yellow? I'm gonna make sure that's all pink. And I'm just gonna come back in and do the same thing with pink. So I'm gonna come in and twist it a little. And I'm gonna come over here, lay it down, put a little bit of pressure and twist, pull up. Get a little more paint, lay it down, boom. Pressure, a little bit of pressure, don't push too hard, and then just twist. And one more, we'll lay it down, boom. A little bit of pressure, twist, voila. Now I'm just gonna rub that off, all right? Just wipe it off, any excess. Not worrying about anything getting blended together. Just kind of get off what you can. So the next color is this green. I'm gonna go into my green. I need another plate. Make sure there's green on the whole back side. I got a little bit of skippy there, so I'm gonna fix that. And we're gonna do the same thing. Basically, we're just gonna keep going, press down and give it a little twist. Let's press down and give it a little twist. Let's get a little more paint. We'll press down, give it a little twist. See when I was doing this one and I was getting to this point, I was like, oh, holy moly. That is a lot of dot color. So I knew at that point I was gonna make an adjustment. I just wasn't sure what exactly I was gonna do. All right, so we're just gonna get all the excess green off that we can. Just rub that off. All right, now we're gonna go into one of the blues and we're gonna make sure it's completely covered. All right, I'm gonna show it to you in just a second. You want it completely covered with the blue. And I'm gonna go in, press, twist. We'll do a little press, twist. Let's go get some more. We'll press, twist. We'll get a little more. Press, twist. Get a little more. And press, twist. All right, now we're gonna get that color off as much as we can, not stressing about it still having that color on it, all right? So now the darker blue, I think that's called the moody blue or something, kind of like me. I'm a moody blue girl today. All right, we're gonna get that color on and we're gonna press, twist, press, twist, press, twist, press, twist. One more. Press, twist. Now this was the point where I knew I had to do something different, right? It's like swish, swish, yes. So this is the point where I knew I was like, what in the world am I gonna do with that? So now what I'm gonna do is take my little tool and I'm gonna try to squish out as much of that paint as I can, all right? And I'm going into my white, all right? So I'm gonna start with yellow. I'm gonna go into my white and back in to right here where this yellow is. It's not the pile of paint, but it's where I was twisting. So I got yellow and white. And then I just started kind of filling in the holes where there is no dot, all right? So then let's do one more. It kind of still has a little blue on it, but that's okay. I'm trying to get like a lighter version of the yellow. We'll fill in like right here. Boom. All right, I'm gonna squish off, try to get as much of that paint off as I can. Now I'm gonna go into the white again and the little pink area, okay? So we're gonna try to get this pink to be paler. So I'm gonna go right on top, more white, and twist. So I'm just doing white and then going back in to my color and making a lighter version of that color. Does that make sense? So, and I'm not going exactly on top of my original color dots. I'm just kind of going close to it. Pink again, we'll do it here. All right, now I need some more napkins because I want to clean this off because it's getting really kind of muddy. And this is what I did, y'all. I did not clean this thing until the very end. I just kept wiping off any excess, right? So I'm gonna go into my white again and let's do green. So tiny bit of green over here, white. So it's a muted version of the green. And I'm just gonna go right beside the green with that color, white and green. And we'll do it right here. Oh, that's got a little something. Get off there. What are you doing? White again, and a tiny bit of green. And I'm just gonna start keep filling in any pockets, okay? We're gonna wipe that off. I need more white. Where's my white? I told y'all this was layers and layers. And I'm just gonna keep doing it until it becomes muted like that original one, I hope. It might take 3 days. So now we're going into the lighter blue. And I'm just gonna fill in a hole, fill in a hole, fill in a hole. All right, wipe that off. We're gonna go into our white and then the darker blue and fill in a hole. And I'm just gonna continue making dots, and I'm filling in like gaps between previous dots and overlapping what I have done before. All right, so white. And now I'm gonna start really using a little bit more white and less color, and just coming in. Let me get some more white. I'm using a lot of white. Yeah, we just talked about that, Tina. But thanks for the info. So now I'm just using straight white, and I'm coming back in and just kind of filling in and going over any color that's like super dark, like this blue up here. I'm just gonna mute it down, mute it down. Anywhere there's still a gap, you can fill that in. Whoa. Fill it in, fill it in. And that's it, really. You're just gonna keep layering these dots, wet on wet, until you like the way it looks, really. Put one here, put one here, and I think right there. I'll put a little dot there. Last here. All right, that's pretty close. It's not perfect, but I think it's pretty close. What do you think? Let's get this dry and see how we feel about it. Let me wipe this off too. I've made a complete mess of my table. I'm so glad I didn't wear the clothes I had on when I was about to leave for the studio. So what do you think? Did I do fairly good? Let's see. Let's get her dry. Thanks for the sprinkles. This one I think is whiter. This one has a little more color. But that's okay too. It's starting to pop though. The color's starting to come out. It's raining here as well, or it's overcast and stormy looking. Look at there, not bad. Mine is freezing as well, y'all. I'm watching on my iPad, so I'm filming with my camera or with my phone and watching with my iPad so I can see comments. But my iPad is freezing too, so I don't know what's going on. I don't know. Facebook hates me these days. The feeling is mutual too. So, not too bad. This one's still a little wet, but we didn't do too bad, did we? So basically, get you whatever colors you like. Start with white and just start adding dots. And then just start layering them and making them lighter and lighter and lighter. That's all I did. That is all this girl did. Now, I think we're gonna save this one for tomorrow and do a flower. We're gonna do maybe a lotus because this one has more color and I think that'll be conducive for that. So we'll come back tomorrow and do this. But for today, we are going to make this bead strand came from Hobby Lobby. It is Color Gallery. And it was $4.99, but I feel like it was on half price because I always pay half price. I don't ever buy this stuff when it's full price. So we're gonna use this for the body. I have a single bead that actually came on a strand, but that probably has been in my little junk box forever. We're gonna use that as his head. And we have some old vase glass that kind of like the bead just showed up. It was just the perfect thing at the perfect time. Just found these pieces just like they are. Crazy pants. All right. So here's our first order of business is to decide on our how long to make our body. All right. I'm going to cut, where are my skizzles? I'm going to cut this right at the knot on that last bead. That way we can keep that strand. That can be the head or right at the body like this because we're going to run that through. Let me scoot him over a little. We're going to run that through like that, touch the glass to there, and then we'll put that right there. So we need, before we even figure out where everything's going to go, we need to decide on his body. I'm thinking, is that too long? If I have him like that and have his tail curved, is that too long? Yes or no? I know, Tina, it was fate. It was meant to be for sure. Diane, I'm in North Mississippi, almost Memphis. So what do you think? Is that too long? Should it go shorter? Longer? Not too long? Oh, yeah. Yesterday I had on shorts. Today I have on long sleeves and jeans. Yesterday it was summer. Today it's winter. All right, so I'm going to cut this right here. I'm afraid to cut it yet. I think what I'm going to do is grab my glue because I don't want this to go running. I am going to grab my glue and I am going to make a glue line. Then I'm going to put this right in that glue. What do you think about that? That way it holds together, and when I cut it, it won't go a-flying. How about that? Ugh. Now, that's perfect. Now I can just pull these off and put them in my spare little bead jar. I have a little bowl on my desk where I just dump that stuff when I'm working. And then I will sort that once a month. So that is going to be super cute. So I'm going to kind of fix his body where I want it. And I'm going to put a little dollop of glue at the top of this bead, or this strand, and I'm going to place that bead right there for his head. Then I'm going to show this to you up close and personal. This is so cute, y'all. And let me situate the little bottom wings. It fits perfect. I could not have planned this if I wanted to. Look at this. I'm going to show it to you up close. What do you think? I think he's perfect. Can you believe I found these pieces? There was one more piece of this dotty glass, and it was like a long, skinny, jagged piece. Right? All right, so now let's go ahead and get ready to resin. I'm gonna close that up a little. I'm just kind of looking at him in the camera. Yes, so let's resin. What do you say? What I'm gonna do probably, I'm gonna mix my resin and I'll probably move these pieces off and then resin underneath, place them back down and then resin over the top so that there's resin underneath that as well, all right? I couldn't tell you where to get these pieces because I've had this glass Lori Jean for probably 5 or 6 years. It's just been in a glass bucket. It was a vase that was broken, and yeah, just go to yard sales, Goodwill, places like that, find you some pretty old vases and then pay a couple of bucks for them and then whack them with a hammer. Thank you for the sprinkles. So I'm gonna mix up some resin and I think I'm just gonna mix an ounce. I don't even think we need an ounce, but better safe than sorry. We're gonna draw those on. I don't have anything for antenna. Do dragonflies have antenna? Do they? I don't think I've ever put antenna on my dragonflies. Maybe they do. Maybe they don't. I'm trying to find my 1/2 inch. There it is, or 1/2 inch, 1/2 ounce. Where is it? My hands are so dirty, I cannot see. 1/2 and 1. Thank you, Marilyn. All right, so I am gonna go ahead and mix in 1 cup. If you're new, you need to mix in 2, okay? And the reason I say that is because the resin we use, you need to have really close to exact measurements. All right, so you would mix, if you wanted an ounce of resin, you would put a 1/2 ounce of hardener, 1/2 ounce of resin, and then blend them together. That way, you know you have an accurate measurement. You follow directions and don't do what I'm doing. Right now, I am doing 1 cup because that's how I'm rolling today. That's how I'm rolling. All right, so I'm gonna put my gloves on. If it was a butterfly, I think I would put antenna, but I don't think for a dragonfly. That's just me, you do you. Yeah, this one, yes, Sandy, this one actually has antenna, you just can't see them. They're invisible. They're invisible. Stubby antenna. Yeah. We're going with this. We're going with this. I don't know why I keep messing with his wings because I'm going to have to take them off. They have tiny, yeah. So does mine. Hard to see. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Okay, look, y'all. Do you see where I filled up my jars? And the little silver thing that covers the top went into my jar. Diane, I am using art resin. I use art resin exclusively. You can get this at Hobby Lobby. You can get this at Joann's Crafts. Most craft stores, I don't think Michael's carries it anymore. You can also get this on Amazon and at artresin.com. I use this exclusively because it is made for artwork specifically. It has the highest rating for non-yellowing, and it is a non-hazmat resin. And guess what? It's also made in the USA. In the USA. Most resins that you find at your craft stores are caustic. They have big warning labels. This one is not. All right, I'm gonna put a 1/2 ounce of hardener and 1/2 ounce of resin. I love them, yeah. Anything that eat a mosquito is good with me because mosquitoes eat me. They like my blood. All right, so that is 1 ounce total, 1/2 ounce of hardener, 1/2 ounce of resin. So I am going, who wants to time me? I have to stir this and mix this for 3 minutes. So somebody time me because I can't see my clock. I used art resin, Deborah. It was art resin. I just did a thin coat. I don't use any other brands. This is pretty much the only resin that I use. So I'm going to stir this for 3 minutes. Thanks, ladies. Somebody just let me know. I'm scraping the bottom of the cup with my stir stick, and I'm going to scrape around the sides because I really want to make sure that this resin is thoroughly mixed because we don't want to mess this up. I was putting resin on countertops before I was putting resin on art, Mickey. I am a faux finisher by trade, and my specialty was cabinets and countertops and ceilings, and which is why I had to stop because I threw my shoulder out. I had rotator cuff problems, and that's when I started doing art. But yes, I've put resin on more countertops than you could ever even imagine. No, Diane, you do not have to use this resin outside. As long as you're using it in a room that is ventilated. And by ventilated, I mean like air conditioning. If you have air conditioning in the room with a return vent, then you are good to go. All right, no special ventilation or mask unless you need that for your own safety. I always like to say, you got to take care of you. It is not my responsibility to read you the directions. Anytime you're using resin, whatever resin you are using, you need to read the directions, follow the directions to the T, and you need to read all the precautions listed on that label because no two resins are the same, okay? No two resins are made equal. So always read the directions. Don't count on me to tell you. Steve's dad is home and doing as well as can be expected. We are actually, after I'm done here, I'm going to go home and pick Steve up, and we're headed back down to Tupelo. Thank you for asking. So we're doing this for 3 minutes. Thank you, Tina. I'm going to give it one more just good scrape around the sides just to make sure. Scrape that bottom. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this side off, and I'm going to resin this half of the piece. All right, so I'm just going to get it on this little head. We'll run some down his body. I love this piece of string bead that I found too. I felt like it was perfect for this. I probably could have made a ½ ounce of resin. All right, then I'm going to just drizzle right here. I'm going to use my little stick to spread it around. Get a little more. I'm just going to go ahead and cover this whole side. I'll fine tune it in a minute, but I am going to put my little wings back on. I just cannot believe how lucky I was to find this. When I saw it, I was like, no way. I found like 2 pieces right close together. I don't remember which ones. And I was like, please, please, Lord, please show me favor. And poof, there it was. All right, so I'm covering the top and I'm putting a little more than normal on the top so it will run over the edges and get the sides of that glass as well. All right, so we'll do this one. Cover it up. And cover it all the way. Now, I'm just going to turn it this way a little, and I'm going to take these pieces off and do the same thing. We'll just divvy out. Yeah, you definitely don't need an ounce of resin just don't trust myself today. I've been in such a funk. Oh, it's thundering. Been having little pity parties for myself today over the Facebook situation. Even though I try real hard not to. All right. Now I'm going to put my little piece back. I'm actually going to put a dot of resin on the underside of that. I should have done it on the other, but I didn't, and I'm not taking it back off. Just on the underside, since I have so much extra, and we'll put that right back. And I'll do the same thing over here. I got some on my table too. And spread that around, and we'll put that in. I'm going to turn this around so I can make sense of it. And push it in where it should be. Come on. You can do it. There we go. Now I'm going to drizzle it on. So you only need a ½ ounce for this. If you are using about the same amount of glass and beads as I am right now, you do not need an ounce. A ½ ounce. I still have ½ ounce generous. So you do not need a full ounce for this. Touch, run it over the side. All right, now I'm gonna run my finger right along that edge of the canvas and make sure it's all covered all the way around. And now I'm gonna take my gloves off. I'm gonna wipe up that mess I made with resin on the on my table. Throw that away, and I'm gonna get my heat gun, and I'm just gonna hit this. Yes, it does self-level. I'm gonna hit this with my heat gun. Just keep that gun moving, or I shouldn't say the G word, I'll probably get in trouble. Just keep your heat moving. You don't want to focus on one spot. You want to keep it moving because it can burn. And if you don't have a heat gun, you can use a blow dryer on high heat, low air, because it's the heat that pops it together and not the air. All right, so let me push this. Let me get this kind of where I want it. And I think, do you think we need bubbles? I think we need bubbles. Do we have bubbles? Do I have bubbles? Where are bubbles? Yes, we need bubbles. Agree? Let's just get a few. We don't need many, just one. Oh, let's flip it. Flip over. Let's do 2 more, and then we're done. Flip. It's about to storm, y'all. It's thundering. All right. I think that's all. I think that is it. It's a Seek One, S-E-E-K-O-N-E, Seek One. I'll show it to you. Seek One heat gun. Let me show you this close up. Heavens, heavens, look y'all. Is that not pretty? I have to refresh my iPad because, seriously, come on. Oh, this iPad's gonna be the death of me. Look at that. Is that not pretty? Oh my goodness. I love it. Something's bugging me here though. It's only bugging me on the picture because it looks like there's no space here and there's space here, but there is space. So it's just bugging me on the picture. right?